Hey folks, welcome back to Shepard's Elderly Head. Welcome back to Let's Play Mass Effect 2. I'm the Mysterious JG. Depending on how many videos I'm doing at a shot, it's been a week for you at the most. For me, it's been quite a bit longer than that. I had to take a little break from the game to get ready for other stuff. By the time this video is public, I'll know the results. But today, I took the first section of the CPA exam and don't know whether I passed or not yet. It's kind of hard to second guess the way it's structured. The test is broken up into testlets, little smaller pieces, and if you do well on the first one, the next one is more difficult. If you do poorly on the first one, the difficulty remains the same, as such that if you can't really second guess whether you did well or not, because if it seemed really difficult, that might have been a good sign that the test was getting harder, or it might just mean you were getting lots of questions wrong. And if the test felt easy, well, maybe you were getting easy questions and you didn't realize you were goofing them up. Of course, if it just felt easy, it might be because you were acing it. Hard to say. But, yeah, I don't know the results, so there's no point dwelling on it. I'm sure you're not that interested in it anyway. We're interested in finding out. Well, I don't know how many people are that interested. I'm enjoying this LP. I appreciate all the feedback and comments I receive, but it's kind of lost in the mix of everything else that's going on right now, LP-wise. But those of you who are here, thank you very much, and I'm sure that our big point of interest is finding out what will be our next step in dealing with those pesky collectors. Well, I tell you, we won't take a very direct step towards dealing with the collectors anytime real soon, because as I talked about last time, the next big mission sort of gets us on a point of no return type of deal. So there's a lot of optional stuff in this game, all the loyalty missions for your squad mates that you don't have to do, but you sort of want to do if you want to get them loyal and, you know, like surviving the final mission. Because this game has a mechanic where your crew members have a much higher chance of dying in the last mission if they're not loyal. Doesn't necessarily make sense. Gameplay terms, it makes sense. You know, if you spend a lot of time with a crew member and unlock their loyalty mission and do the loyalty mission, it indicates that you like that crew member and you're trying to get them to survive. Gameplay terms, it makes sense. Story terms, it doesn't make sense. The fact that we went and helped out Morden with his personal problems with this, you know, stray colleague, why would that mean he does or doesn't live in that last mission? It's hard to say. But there's also all this DLC. I mean, there's DLC that I never played before that I bought just for this LP because I wanted it to be a very complete LP. That 6 people were watching. I wanted it to be a very complete sort of LP, so I went ahead and bought all this DLC, some of which I had already played, some of which I haven't, but I've now bought the game twice over, because by the time you pay for all that DLC, a much parodied fact about the Mass Effect series, by the time you bought all the DLC, you paid for the game twice or 3 times, possibly. So we got a lot of that to do, and it's all optional bonus stuff that doesn't connect all that strongly to the story, but it's still fun. And if you're into the fact that this game has a lot of background material, there's a lot of world building, there's a lot of shots of Shepard's crotch, then all this DLC gives you a lot of opportunities for more of all those things. Before we really kick it off, one other little thing that I'll talk... I've just been thinking about it. I don't know why. I don't like this game as much as I like the original Mass Effect. I don't quite know why. The combat mechanics have probably gotten a bit better, although the cover mechanic... The fact that you just die if you're not in cover all the time, I mean, cover dominates the combat. It feels like less like free motion running around than it used to. It's more about run from one piece of cover to the next. Yeah, Kelly's like, what the hell is he doing? Although there's DLC for it, which Bean warned me, she seemed to find it incredibly dull. But there's DLC that brings back the Mako, but the original game doesn't have the Mako at all. So it's all run and gun shooting at stuff on foot / talking to people. You know, and but somehow I'm just not quite as into it. I don't know what it is. Mass Effect, I get the impression, close up on Shepard, I get the impression, just sort of from fan response that I've read over the years, I might have just come across a couple of specific and oddball things, but I get the impression that this is kind of the most fondly remembered of the Mass Effect games, because the entire series, it's now kind of old news, this series. You know, you have a very short life as the current hot thing, and you very quickly become kind of, you know, a fond memory for people having played through. But, this, I get the impression that 2 is the one that people like the most. For the PS3 fans, it's the first one they got access to, because, although you can now get Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect is now available on, like, the Mass Effect collection with all 3 games in one package, including a PS3 port of the original game. The original game, when it first came out, was an Xbox 360 exclusive. Or, I shouldn't say that. I think there was also a PC version. But yeah, it was like it was all Microsoft all the time, kind of thing. So, I guess for a lot of people, this is their first game, and would therefore they'd be fond of it. But I think they just tried to get really dark and edgy and gritty and lots of rusty space. Like, you know, you have a kind of an Aliens vibe to the scary dark tunnels, and much more so than the original Mass Effect had. And Mass Effect 1 was more of a, you know, a clean-looking future world. And it doesn't necessarily, I don't know, I'm just sick of that. It was a really cool, interesting, new take on sci-fi when it first happened in, like, the 70s. And now it can be done very well, but it's not automatically interesting to me that the future features sleaze and dirtiness and crime just like today does. That's not intrinsically interesting to me. But really, I think it's that Cerberus just kind of wrecks the game for me. This whole, like, Commander Shepard's flirting with danger, and his crew are no longer people who necessarily want to be there. This, like, this loose affiliation of rogues. He's got this rogues gallery record for him. It's like, I don't know, it just doesn't do as much for me. And the missions, these like these tons of little short self-contained missions. I don't know, the overall story doesn't flow quite as well for me. Although, as I'm playing through the game again now, having not played it for a couple years, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that main plot mission. And okay, the main plot mission's hooked together in a way that's kind of good, and it's not that different from the way it functioned in Mass Effect. It's just, it seems like there's more side missions and blah blah blah. But yeah, I mean, the fact that I'm being reminded of stuff that I've forgotten. Apparently, when I first played this game, the main story didn't stick with me. That's all I'm saying. So, I probably had a good impression of where I was going to go at the end of the last video, but that was a long time ago, and I'm no longer really all that sure. So, we can help Garrus and Kasumi if we go to the Citadel. I kind of want to help Zaid next, but that same system is where the Firewalker DLC is, and I've got this vague notion I'm going to do the DLC after we do the help various people missions. And help Jacob, that's a nice little self-contained thing. So is helping Jack, so is helping Tali. But I've also got the idea, oh, who can we help on Omega? Samara. That's a really stupid mission. It's kind of a funny mission. I mean, there's some really funny dialogue that comes out of that mission, but I'm going to put it off for right now. What do you know about art? What do you know about music? Those are in-jokes that I shouldn't even say in-jokes. I mean, lots of people are familiar with that reference, or what I'm referencing. I don't think that's an exact quote. I'm misquoting dialogue from the Samara side quest. What do you know about art? But I'll throw that one out to Bobo, who, you know, he's not watching these as they go up, and he's not familiar with Mass Effect 2, but he knows enough about Commander Shepard to understand the concept of what do you know about art, what do you know about music, in an attempt to make a conversation. But yeah, we'll head for the Citadel next. Maybe I'll, between videos, remember to check a FAQ and see where the hell I'm supposed to get foodstuffs for our food libraries. But as long as I got 2 help various person missions over here, I can try to knock them out in one shot. Oh, Kasumi's in it. This is weird. Citadel. Oh, because it's DLC. The Widow Cluster. We never used to have more than one place to visit around here. Widow in Mass Effect 1, and I think also in Mass Effect 3, it's just this one tiny... It's the Citadel, and then a mass relay. There's no... And now in this game, a fuel depot. I don't think that was even there before. You couldn't get fuel here. But with the DLC now, there's another star you can visit. It never used to work like that. Interesting. Serpentor, 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 Serpentor. The Serpent Nebula. So we'll go help Kasumi, because this system is probably... This might be really rich planets to mine, now that I think about it, because this is clearly a DLC system. Huh. What do you know? Poor results. I would have expected the opposite. It's a DLC system, so I thought they would give you lots of goodies. Thuft. Dutch for the head. Don't bring me down. Thuft. Moderate results. I am surprised. Maybe it just says moderate and poor, but if you scan them, it's full of it's got lots of element 0. But yeah, I'm surprised. They had to show a lot of restraint in giving us a DLC world that isn't like completely full of, you know, free drops of valuable stuff. Wheeler. Moderate. What did that description say? Okay, I just had like a total brain fart. I thought it said Wheeler is a sizable sock planet. I was like, well, no, we live there. No, a rock planet. That makes a lot more sense. Can we scan Kasumi? It is depleted. That makes sense because I think it must be inhabited, or we wouldn't be able to go there and do this mission for Kasumi, who wants us to steal stuff. Beckenstein, the recipient of the first wave of Earth's colonization efforts. Beckenstein's founders had a... It's probably Beckenstein. Had a decidedly less agrarian plan than Eden Prime. The mission of Beckenstein's first colony was to become Earth's off-planet manufacturing base, ingratiating humanity into galactic culture by producing needed goods. Meeting with mixed success for the first generation. Beckenstein/Beckenstein. It's Frankenstein. It's Igor. Sorry. Meeting with mixed success for the first generation, Beckenstein then leapfrogged its competition by producing high-quality luxury goods that went straight to nearby markets via the Citadel. Today, Beckenstein is known as the Human's Ilium, a place where new money tycoons flaunt their wealth and the have-nots are rarely spoken of. Population 5 million, which... Inhabited planets on this game, like if you went to Earth, the population is supposed to be in like trillions, I think. So it's... Probably this isn't supposed to be all that ridiculously high. Pardon me. Atmospheric pressure is a little on the high side, but it's basically has really long years, but otherwise it's Earth normal crap. So yeah. I don't remember exactly what she wanted us to do. She tells us right off the bat, because you don't have normal dialogues where these things are uncovered over the course of time. But this had something to do, if memory serves, like her old boy toy, boy toy. He's not your boy toy. Her old boyfriend, like former partner, I guess, got killed, and somehow or other something to do with him is... Somebody has... There's like a black box involved. I think it's like her dead boyfriend's memories have been taken and are held by this guy, and she wants to steal them back, or... Maybe I'm remembering the resolution from of this mission from before, and we're not supposed to know that yet. I apologize if so, but something to do with her old partner in crime is held by some rich dude, and she wants us to steal it. So let's do it. Use your squad's ammo powers to increase their weapon effectiveness. So we pretty much have to bring her along. I don't remember there being much combat in this. Flashbang grenade. A disorienting concussive charge is something that inflicts minor damage and incapacitates nearby targets. Sounds pretty crap, actually. Well, I'll tell you what, let's max out Shadow Strike, and then once this is available for us to even look at, we'll decide whether we want to worry about it at all. We won't bother to put a lot of points into Overload. Cloak and sneak behind a target to deliver a devastating blow. It's actually pretty cool, but it's not one we get to use. 'Cause it's like an AI kind of thing. So, we have to evolve it to Deadly Shadow Strike or Rapid Shadow Strike. We can increase the damage inflicted on a target. It takes 9 seconds to recharge. We get 550 points, and they're out for 7. Or we can reduce the cooldown by 80% if the target is killed by this power. Recharge time 9 seconds, damage 450, incapacitation duration 7 seconds. Normally I go for damage boosts. You get a big cooldown reduction. What is 80% of 9? I can't do math in my head. I know I took the CPA exam earlier today, a piece of it, so I certainly don't feel like I should be expected to do math during my recreation time. But that would be 7 point something seconds. 80% of 9, I would think. So 7.2 seconds, yeah. 0.8 times 9. Come on, JG, you can do that much math in your head. So yeah, you're taking like, oof, you're making the recharge time for this thing is going to be under 2 seconds, which is awesome. But only if the blow actually kills the enemy. So it might be... Deadly Shadow Strike is a cooler name than Rapid Shadow Strike, but for a change I'm actually going to go with the one that isn't just a damage boost. The idea that she could just like go around doing that constantly is pretty awesome. Don't know that the AI will be really taking the best advantage of it. I'm already second guessing, haven't chosen it, but fuck it. It's not worth worrying about. Oh, we don't even get to pick another party member in this one because it really is like almost all chit chat.
Well, Mr. Solomon Gunn, Hawk won't know what hit him.
Solomon Gunn, Mr. Hawk, what's with the outfit? How fucking stupid is Shepard? He put on this outfit without finding out what... They're heading down there, they haven't discussed the plan in advance at all. Like, okay. I'm already thinking she's calling him Mr. Solomon Gunn and has him dressed up, so he's I guess he's incognito. But, really? What's with the outfit that I put on without asking any questions about it? Yeah, I'm going there first.
I take it I'm wearing this getup for a reason.
You look really out of place at a society party in armor, don't you think? You look great. You should wear this stuff more often.
Yeah, your whole hood thing isn't working for me. I mean, I'm sure you're supposed to be hot and stuff, but...
I assume Solomon Gunn is my cover?
Solomon Grundy want pants too.
Band of mercs out in the Terminus systems. Precisely the type of person Hawk respects. I took the liberty of giving you a reputation. Papers, witnesses, article in Badass Weekly.
He sounds
Just
like
don't start talking business with him, and you'll be fine.
He sounds like Garrus, except that Garrus is like, you know, Justice Man, but he had his little group of dudes. If you can find them, you may be able to hire the Garrus team. Who then I'll get killed, which is why we have to go do Garrus' mission after this.
Remind me, what kind of man are we dealing with?
Hawk's a weapons dealer and smuggler. He killed my partner and stole his gray box. Other than that, he's not so bad. Rich, charismatic, willing to crack open a man's skull to get at the neural implants inside.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Now's probably a good time to fill me in on the details.
You know, earlier would have been even better time.
Patiently. Our friend Hawk is throwing a party for his closest friends.
500 of his closest friends, just like Maven.
Cheaters and mass murderers you'll ever want to meet, all bringing gifts as a tribute to the man himself.
Vader?
Our tribute is a lovely statue of your old friend Saren.
What do you know about Saren?
Filled to the brim with our weapons.
Yeah, it's the simplest reference I could have thrown out there. What do you know about Saren? And I managed to like stumble over the
I
line.
won't hassle you over a side-on. Once inside, we'll make our way to Hawk's vault door, somewhere in the back of the ballroom. Then we case the security
Pretty awesome
and start
statue of
peeling away
Saren.
the layers. The statue should be there, waiting for you to crack it open and arm up. Then
Would
we
have to
just
destroy
waltz into the
Saren
vault
again.
and take back KG's gray box, and I'll finally get a chance to say goodbye.
KG Maeda? Or what about Kaiji Muto?
You've worked really hard on this. KG must have meant a lot to you.
Was
For
I
an
that
Asian guy, he
obvious?
had a huge... Well, never
KG's
mind.
gray box holds a lot of priceless personal memories. It's all that remains of who he was. But the secret he discovered is dangerous. I wouldn't bring you here if it wasn't.
Yeah, it better be worth it, shit.
What's in the gray box that makes it worth all this trouble?
The gray box holds KG's memories. Everything from all the codes and plans he stole to all the time we spent together. Wrapped up in those memories.
You know, when I look at myself through his eyes, I love the way he loves me.
But the information got him killed.
I love the way you love me, KG. She's surprisingly a country music fan.
This ought to be interesting.
That's what I'm going for.
I can't remember the lyrics of that "The Way You Love Me" song, but it had like the awful, like, computer manipulated voices and yeah, it's a horrible song.
Mr. Gunn.
Just one moment, sir.
I'd rather think about Peter Gunn than...
Is there a problem here?
No,
Ooh.
Mr. Huck. Just doing a scan.
No, Mr. Huck. I just don't like Turians. I'm a bit of a redneck. I don't like meet Turians. Though I did meet a Turian once who was an okay fella, kind of a dumb guy mechanic on Novaria.
I've heard a lot about you. Name's Solomon Gunn.
He's a big Stone Cold fan. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys are trying to have a conversation. I should be quiet.
You've been very busy lately, if the extra net is to be believed.
Hey, aren't you my engineer?
The scanners aren't picking anything up.
Oh, it's a void
Don't
ship.
think
It's got
our guests
Daleks
would come all
hiding
the
for the
way
Time
here
War
from
inside.
Ilium just to cause trouble. Do you?
Well, actually, sir, that's exactly what I think, but okay.
With my apologies. But I will ask your companion to remain outside. You understand, I hope.
Oh, now he's turning British instead of Scottish. I mean, what the Maybe if I'd shut up and listen, I'd be able to place this guy's accent, but it just sounds like he's... I mean, it's like me doing accents. They're horrible, they're not consistent. It's like, hey, you gotta let me bring in the hooded, incredibly mysterious figure.
Care to explain why my friend has to stand outside?
I don't like the look of your friend, so she stays outside. Simple as that.
You don't have the option of storming off angrily, which obviously is not what she would want, but...
Care to explain why my friend has to stand outside?
I don't like the look of your friend, so she stays outside. Simple as that.
I'm supposed to be badass mercenary. Wouldn't I push the issue?
No problem. You're the host.
Enjoy the party.
I'll hire a new hooker once we get inside.
That didn't go as I expected.
I was hoping that in my default thief outfit, I would be able to go inside.
Any idea why he'd send you away?
No, we've never seen each other in person, and no one knows what I look like.
Not even you. I
Just watching
just never
his
show
ass,
my
I'm
face.
sure. I can't blame him.
I'd like to watch your ass.
What do we do now?
We go on with the plan. You'll just have to do all the talking. I'll stay out of sight and stick with you the best I can.
Wait, don't take away staring.
We'll
What do you know
keep
about
radio
this?
contact in case something goes wrong.
And I'll disappear in front of all the security guards
Find the
to
door
spook
and
them.
case the security. We'll figure out the next step then.
So again, this is a, you know, like all the missions in this game, this is a little one-shot kind of deal, and I got Paragon points for, I don't know, being polite about introducing myself. This is like a one, you only get to visit this place once.
Oh, that? A quick application of force, a little pressure, and bam! Done.
Thank goodness. I thought those rabble would dog you for years.
Yeah, the Rebel, the Dribble, the Jibba Jabba. Yeah, but you only get to come to this place once, you don't get to return, and as a... I've already been surprised. Now, I shot off my mouth and turned out to be completely wrong. But I was already surprised that a DLC system, a DLC-only system, had not a lot of exciting mining
Some say
opportunities.
Commander Shepard is still alive. Really?
What the fuck, bitch?
Please. It's wishful thinking at best.
Oh, I don't know which of them was talking. What do you guys know about Commander Shepard? What do you guys know about, I don't know, Saren, maybe?
That goes to a security room. We'll
We're not at that point in the plot yet, dumbass.
Have you tried the wine?
Wish I knew where he gets it from. Trade secret, I suppose.
Maybe the tears of the innocent. As opposed to, you know, grapes. Choose colony to show that I have your own sense of style. I drink my developer fluid. Now I'm like flashing back to jokes about the like riff track jokes about the commercials in their recorded version of the Star Wars Holiday Special. Like, how am I expecting any of you guys to know what I'm talking about? If you're not big riff tracks fans, which you should be.
What's your read on that Archangel guy?
I hear he's dead. Or gone, or something. Good riddance, I say.
You know, Asari are supposed to be like super sexy. All the other species are just like totally into them, and expensive if you want to acquire, you know, like use money to directly acquire their sexual interest. It's implied that, you know, it's like all Asaris are supposed to be hoes, but you got that consort floating around and all that kind of. There's definitely like a whole vibe about that going on throughout these games. So that dude must be doing pretty well. Got to Asari. And by that dude, I mean the guy that we had on screen like a minute ago when I started talking.
Hawk's private rooms are off limits without proper clearance.
You'll have to get here later in the plot.
There, but we have to scope out the vault first.
I told you, the private quarters are off limits.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Let's case the vault.
Just do the stupid plot in order. Yeah, but I'm trying to keep my eyes peeled because I'm thinking there's probably a lot of loot in here.
Very nice. There's more here than I expected.
I like your butt, by the way. Hey, Saren.
Password protected voice lock, kinetic barrier, DNA scanner. Looks like an EX700 series. Everything a vault needs to be impenetrable.
I don't know why he was scowling at the Saren statue.
Please,
I mean,
remember
one of my
who you're talking to.
a part I really like about that game is that by the end he's got just enough sympathy with Saren to understand
We'll have to find a password
the
too.
hellish situation the guy
DNA,
got himself
child's
into.
play. We should find plenty of DNA samples in Hawk's private quarters. And the
I miss
barrier?
Saren.
Cut the power.
This game does not have a
Never fails.
villain comparable
If we
to
can
Saren.
find it, KG could get through a system like this in his sleep. And I'm better. Let's get to it.
So I can get to it while dead. He sorry, I'm like completely ignoring the game dialogue of this flashing back to Mass Effect 1, but it's like Keiji could get through this in his sleep, and I'm better. I could get through this while dead. But Saren, like yeah, like we didn't spend a ton of time with Saren. That time we did spend with Saren. He came across in a very few brief scenes as a very good villain, but by the end it was like Shepard was like, yeah, this whole situation working with this like evil machine that can control your brain kind of sucks, dude. I feel for you. It's clear that Saren was a bit of an ass, not big on the humans. If we trust Anderson, and we're never given any reason not to trust Anderson, and Saren was like bad news from the get-go, but still, I mean, if you go the Renegade path, you can, in that game, your Spectre Shepard can be very similar to Saren in his approach to getting things done. Paragon Shepard, obviously very different. But either one, at the end, can like push Saren to reassert just enough control over himself to kill himself to try to avoid being a pawn of Sovereign. I always thought that was a pretty cool plot twist, so I'm all stuck on it now. Because I'd completely forgotten about the fact that a statue of Saren pops up. And I'm just telling you what I know about Saren. And also, poor Kasumi, I'm just not into the character. Like a lot, you know, I'm a nerd, and like any nerd, I appreciate an attractive Japanese female, but you know, it's not really giving her a hell of a lot of character. And what they are trying to, and this and the first time you recruit her, are pretty much the only real chances that she gets, and I'm kind of not giving her a fair shake here by ignoring them. But she's just kind of a generically genial, but she's also a gentlewoman thief or whatever. I hated Trilby too in the Trilby games. He's the gentleman thief. I'm like, what? I don't know. It seems like a composite of like this Cool rogue or whatever. Okay, so we're given stuff to do.
The barrier's still up. We'll have to shut it down to get to the door. We still need the password and a sample of Hawk's voice to get past that scanner.
Okay. So she told me what to do, and I was blathering on about Saren, so.
Hawk throws a hell of a party.
Yes. I'm not too pleased with the caliber of people he's invited, though.
Talk about me, bitch. Talk about this. Mostly humans here. There's a couple of Asari. I saw in a cinematic up front a Solarian. I haven't come across one since then.
There he is. All you need to do is keep him talking long enough for me to get a voice print.
I have to figure out what accent he has.
Whenever you're ready.
I have to figure out what kind of accent he has. Is he supposed to be Scottish, Russian, British? Well, English, I should say. Scottish is British, depending on what Scotsman you ask. Or Scotswoman.
Mr. Gunn, hope you're having a good time. That scene at the door hasn't soured your evening, I hope.
Yeah, I guess I'll use Smurf dialogue.
I understand the security, but who would dare try to break into Donovan Hawk's home?
Don't kiss my ass, shepherd.
In our line of work, we attract a certain element. Few understand the pains we take to keep the barbarians at bay.
I hate the people who don't
these days
speak
want
Greek.
comfort, entertainment,
Maybe he's Greek.
Love. They don't see that the galaxy is fragile. They only have to worry about simple luxuries. Why? Because people like me and you are doing the terrible things that keep the galaxy spinning. This party
Terrible
is
things,
for
yeah.
us, the cleaners, the support structure for the galaxy's gleeful delusions of peace. May there
Only
always
through
be
illegal
darkness
arms
to
smuggling can the universe continue to spin. That should have been plenty. Yep. Thought I would be able to get this done in one video, but too much stalling. We're out of
Get him
time.
talking, and you got him talking. We've got enough of a voice sample. Let him go.
Enjoy the party, Mr. Gunn.
So what's your password, buddy? I'm almost curious about how difficult is it to keep him talking if you don't have blue dialogue power. Apparently he's just really, you know, sort of brusque and curt. He becomes Kurt Angle. But, no problem, man. Smurf dialogue does it every time. You know, it's the idea of blue or red dialogue. It isn't necessarily that anything Shepard says when you select those options is all that inspiring. He's like, who would ever dare break into your house? And suddenly he launches into this speech. I don't know what the Renegade version is. I doubt it's that different. I mean, it really doesn't seem like you have this incredible... It's the Paragon aspect. I don't know. It's like you have Charm and Intimidate tied to your Paragon and Renegade level in the first game, but you still have to invest points into them. So there is this notion. It's like the, you know, your D&D games. I've never really played those, but like Fallout has a similar thing. You can give your character a lot of charisma, but if you're coming from like an even starting point out of the gate with other characters that are being created, you gotta give and take. You know, if you have a lot of strength, maybe you don't have points to give to your perception and your intelligence, and if you have a ton of intelligence, that doesn't necessarily equate to charisma. You have to spend points someplace. In this game, though, it's like, no, suddenly, if you just consistently make like positive karma decisions, regardless of whether people can see you and your reputation would be affected, then suddenly you just get the gift of the silver tongue, the mark of a good officer and of a liar. It's like, you know, I'm polite to people. Suddenly, therefore, I have the ability to talk circles around them and negotiate anything. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't also make any sense for me to keep this going, so I'm going to cut it off. And when we come back, we are going to, I guess, go into some of those rooms we couldn't get to before and find the password for the vault. The fact that I wasn't allowed to pick a party member to bring with me suggests that we're probably not going to see a ton of combat on this one, but I could be wrong. I could be entirely wrong. We'll see you next time, folks. I'm Mysterious AG. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you come back. Bye-bye.